Hello everybody and welcome to the last day of Vlogmas. 25 videos in 1 month has been a lot, but has been so much fun. And for the last video, day 25, I decided that what better way to end it than to talk about all the holiday Christmas books that I read this season. So without further ado, let's dive right on in. I do want to preface in this video, there will be spoilers for probably almost every book. So the first book I want to talk about is Damaged Player by R.C. Stevens. And this book was quite good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We follow two characters in this novel. We follow Kate and Noah. Kate's character is so complex, but so simple at the same time. She had an accident and she thinks that she's damaged goods. She lost her leg in the accident. She no longer likes to drive. She doesn't put herself out there. She just keeps her head down and goes about her life. Her brother is in the NHL, so she has a lot of friends there, as well as friends within the hockey community at her college where her brother went. I believe he graduated a year before her. His almost best friend, Evan, is still in college on the team, and Kate has had a crush on Evan for years. Coach of the hockey team asks Kate to tutor Evan because he had an accident and he's on the injured list. I think something happened with his arm. Evan also has some trouble not sleeping with his tutors. So Kate, not thinking she is amazing as a human being, says sure. Evan still doesn't notice her, but they become friends. He thinks of her as his best friend's little sister. Then one night, Kate's roommates, also her friends, convince her to go out to this club or bar or something. The hockey team ends up being there, as well as their new player, Noah. He has just got out of a shitty relationship with a woman he thought that he loved, and it turns out she was only with him for his status. Noah switched colleges to be closer to his mom because his mom is very sick. Noah notices Kate staring at Evan, and he makes her a deal. He will help her get the attention of Evan if she tutors him to get his grades back under control so he can continue to play hockey. They quickly grow into this amazing friendship, and maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Kate doesn't want to date Noah, she wants to date Evan, and Noah doesn't want to fall in love with Kate as he has a lot going on in his home life, his personal life, as well as catching up with his grades and playing hockey, getting to know a whole new team and play with them, and getting out of a shitty relationship. He has no time for a new one. It's a sweet book, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The next book I read this holiday season was Not So Merry Memories by Megan Brandy. This book was good, but also a little awkward. It keeps you guessing as to what happened between our main characters. We follow, again, two POVs here. Our female main character is opening a resort that specializes in recreating memories. She got this magazine from her best friend years ago about a couple, and the woman had got into an accident. She lost all of her memories. She was married or engaged to this man. She lost all of her memory, so she has no memory of him or the memories they created. So one day he comes home and she has created a bunch of holidays that they missed together. I think it's described, the entryway was New Year's, the kitchen was, I don't know, Christmas, the living room was Valentine's Day, that kind of thing. This sparked an idea that every room at this resort would have a different theme so you can reclaim memories. If you have bad memories one Christmas, maybe you can rewrite it, so on and so forth. Our male's point of view is he is her ex-best friend. It is alluded to why they are no longer friends, but it's hinted at something happened on his end that ended her previous relationship, and they haven't talked since, but he has weaseled his way into also owning a portion of shares or a part of the resort. While they're at this resort opening, he decides to announce that they are engaged. She's pissed. They don't talk. She avoids him anytime he has to come to the office. And it was a cute story, a little bit awkward, but I really loved the premise of this story. I think it's a really cool way to look at people being in comas or memory loss. I think it was a really sweet notion. Kind of a cool idea if anybody has had that experience that kind of wants to reclaim or rewrite history that you have lost or, you know, just didn't have a good one of. So I think it was really cute. The next book I read was A Very Bossy Christmas by Alexis Winter. We follow Holly, and she is having quite a day. Her car won't start. She needs to be at this meeting for her asshole of a boss. He calls her asking where she is because she's 10 minutes late. She tries to explain that her car isn't working. He is hearing none of it because he's a douche noggin. She ends up running. She gets there. She's covered in coffee, drops off the goods, and stalks out of the room. He catches up and is like, what the fuck happened? She's like, I tried to explain it to you. You didn't want to hear it. He's like, well, I can't have my assistant looking like this. Ask someone for clothes. Anyways, she later on in the day goes to him and says, hey, can I leave around 4? My car got towed. I need to go get it. He said, absolutely not. It's not my fault that your car didn't start, so you can fix it on your time. Later, he finds her at the bar. She's drowning her sorrows, and he comes up to her. They have their witty banter, and he's like, no, seriously, what's wrong? And she's like, well, here's the list. Also, the reason I asked to leave to go get my car is because there was only one mechanic who could fix it, but it needed to be there by 5. Now I can't go home and spend the holidays with my family. He feels like shit, as he should, and he offers to drive her home. Her home life is a little bit of a mess. She's kind of the odd one out. Her family is very much pushing for her to get a husband and do the home life because they don't think she has what it takes to be out in the world. Her ex-boyfriend is also going to be there with his new girlfriend. Take that in. Because he created such a good bond with her family that he is now still invited to Christmas. Could you imagine that? I can't. Anyways, she said that he was a friend. When they got there, he announced that he was her boyfriend, and then he proposes, and it's just a whole shit show. But Damon, I don't know if I've said his name up until now, he really, really likes Holly. And the only reason he's been an ass to her is because he doesn't think he has what it takes to be future material, as in boyfriend, husband, father for anybody. And he has quite the past as well that's not so great. He's an orphan. He lost his parents and his sister. I won't say how, it's explained. And Holly and Damon, throughout this shit show of a lie that they've put on for her family, they really grow close, and obviously office to enemies to lovers. It's a really good story. I highly recommend. Next on the list is The Billionaire Scrooge Next Door. We have Adam Dunbar. He hates Christmas. His dad was known as Mr. Christmas in their hometown until he fled the country because his store was actually a scheme and he was embezzling money. Adam has now bought his childhood home and has been there for a few weeks or a few days, and he doesn't know why he's bought his childhood home. He doesn't have a lot of good memories. A few hours before the cops showed up, his dad packed his bags and left, leaving him, Adam, and his mom to take the brunt of everybody's anger, hostility, and he's pretty much kept to himself. We also follow Holly, and she obviously loves Christmas. Her life is kind of falling apart in the city, so she is super happy and excited to be home and have all of their traditions as comfort. Then it kind of starts off kind of shitty because her brother's wife, who she loves, she really thinks that his wife is, or fiance, is a very, very nice woman, but she has a pine allergy, so they can't have a Christmas tree. And I guess they have a lot of traditions surrounding this Christmas tree. Anyways, one day when Holly's in her bedroom, she hears her mom's book club talking about how Adam doesn't have any Christmas lights up and their street is known as the Christmas street. His house is the only one that doesn't have lights or any sign of life or Christmas spirit at all. So her mom is pretty much, you know, a nosy Karen and calls her down. It's like, you used to be friends with Adam. Could you just go over and ask if he's gonna put up lights? So she goes over and she's like, yeah, you know, I'm here because blah, 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 and explains the situation to him, and he's like, oh no. He doesn't have any, so it's just, it's grumpy and sweet. She teaches Adam that Christmas isn't just about lights and decorations. It's the warm, cozy feeling, spending it with family, and it's really cute. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do recommend it. It was quite good. The book I read after that was Dipped in Holly. We follow Holly and Nick. Holly for her boyfriend's and his friend's Christmas get-together at this bar. They dressed kind of slutty. The girls and the guys dressed as whatever they wanted to for holiday cheer. And Holly is dressed as Mrs. Claus, and he dumps her in front of all of his friends and pretty much tells her that he cheated with his secretary in front of everybody. Holly is in the bathroom when we first really see her. She is telling herself all of the things that are reasonable reasons to why he would dump her. You know, her rolls, her hair is stringy, she has acne scarring. Personally, I connected with that a lot. Then we have Nick, and well, she's locked the bath, so nobody else can use the bathroom. So Nick's like pounding on the door. He's the owner of this bar where their party and scene took place, and he can hear her saying all of these horrible things about herself. And Nick is a dom, and he pretty much is just like, this isn't happening, you're beautiful, don't let him have this control over you, sit by the bar and I'll give you some drinks, like stay. So they do, she does, she gets a little intoxicated, but they end up having a wonderful night together. This is a novella, it's not super long, but it was really sweet, really steamy, and I enjoyed it. Next on the list is Santa's Lay. This is also a novella, and we follow our female main character, and her best friend owns a sex shop. She has commandeered our main character to work as a elf to our Santa. People can come in, get a photo, and talk with Santa, and get either 2 types of bottle openers or something. The chemistry between Santa and his elf is off the chain. They have some very loaded sexual tension till like half the book or half of the novella. It's not very long, but like it's enough. It's like teetering on the edge. Then it happens, and it's so funny afterwards. But it was steamy, it was fun, it was short, it got me in the Christmas mood. It was cute. It was cute, it was steamy. I have nothing else to say. Next on this list is Santa's Secret, and in this book we follow Danny and Aiden. Danny, we first see her at her sister's wedding. She is quite tiny. I think this book very much adds that eating disorder aspect to things. It's not outright said, but if you pay close enough attention or know someone who's gone through an ED, or you yourself have, you definitely pick up the signs throughout this novel, and I kind of really appreciated that because we have her mom, who is very judgmental and rude. She's very much an asshole. Danny and Aiden meet at her sister's wedding. Aiden works with her sister's now husband in some sort of aspect. They dance, and then her mom obviously has to be in all about her and says, I'm ready to go to the hotel room because they're rooming together. So they leave. They don't see each other. Then Dani goes to this job interview, or her first day at her new job. She has no idea that the company is owned by Aiden. This turns into an office romance. It was so good. I loved the complexity. I loved Aiden's family aspect as well. I also liked, throughout the book, Dani never told her sister like kind of what happened and why her and her mom had a falling out. But once Dani does, she is not on her mom's side whatsoever, and Dani has an accident throughout this book. And I loved how Aiden and her sister stand up for her with Dani and her sister's mom. I really enjoyed it. I think it was done tastefully with the issues that happened in this book and the conflict that Haley Tyler wrote about. Next book I read was Mistletoe and Mischief. This book follows Jules and Nashton. Nashton is her brother's best friend. He grew up with them in their hometown, and when her brother comes back, I guess Nashton's family, they go all out for Christmas. They have extended family staying there, so her brother's like, hey, come stay with me and my sister. Nashton loves to torture Jules their entire childhood, only to find out that he's been in love with her, and her brother has been very against it because Nashton has this playboy attitude. He's also his best friend. He doesn't want to lose him. Jules, on the other hand, hates his guts but is obviously attracted to him. She owns a bakery. She is super busy over the holidays, and Nashton starts to show non-asshole-ish tendencies when he walks in, going there to torment her, only to find her working her ass off, running around like a chicken with its head cut off because her employee didn't show up. She was expecting it to happen eventually, but not during the holiday season. So he puts aside what he was gonna do and he stands in to help her. She's like, okay, who is this guy? I've never met him, but he loves to torture her. So then things start to change, and Nashton is showing more of his gentle side. They end up having some time together. Her brother finds them the next morning and everything kind of goes to shit. But before Nash leaves to go to his parents' house, he lays his heart out in the open, and her brother is still really pissed off, but he realizes, hey, this man loves you. I can't stand in the way of that. And it was just really sweet. I loved it. This was one of my favorites that I read this season. It was so good. Next, I read The Plight Before Christmas by Kate Stewart. This is the perfect holiday read. I cried. I literally laughed out loud. I finished this last night to the point where I tried to hold it in, but my husband ended up waking up because I giggled so hard. This novel is so cute, festive, tension-filled amazingness. So we have Whitney, and her life is kind of falling apart. She didn't get the promotion she wanted. Her car is having troubles. She just wants to go to her grandparents' house and spend the holidays with family and have a great time with their traditions. Just have a good time because her life is, like I said, falling apart. So when her brother, his wife come, they show up with their two kids, her sister, her husband, and their two kids are there, and then her parents. Her brother and his wife have brought a friend, only to realize that it's Eli. And Eli was Whitney's first love. Not crush, not boyfriend, love. He broke her heart, and ever since she's kind of been with F-boys. She doesn't let people really get close to her, and as soon as their relationship starts getting, any relationship she's been in, as soon as it starts getting serious, she pulls away because she doesn't want to get hurt again like she did with Eli. Her sister is pissed. Her brother had no idea who Eli was. He didn't know that Eli was the Eli. It's Eli being there, trying to explain why he did what he did and how sorry he is. It doesn't really work out. This is in Triple Falls, where the Ravenhood series takes place, and her grandparents are no longer alive. but they've kept their cabin. It's them figuring out their shit, getting closure. This brother and her sister are also having issues within their marriage, and Eli kind of helps everybody out in the sense that he's there. He wants everybody to just be happy and have a great Christmas. He's super helpful with all the kids. So her sister has this baby boy, and his name is Peyton, and him and Eli create this bond that is so cute throughout the entire novel. It's so good. I loved it. I was like, maybe I got some baby fever at this point, because that relationship between Peyton and Eli was the cutest part of this entire book. I'm sorry. Tell me I'm wrong. Just tell me I'm wrong. I would love to know what is cuter in this book. I would love to know. But anyways, it was really, really good. We have a cameo. So as soon as she shows up to her grandparents' house, this isn't really a spoiler. It's within like the first 1 or 2 chapters that happens. So she shows up to her grandparents' house and her car dies. So she needs to get a mechanic to come take it away. Then in comes Greasy Hands. He helps Whitney make Eli real jealous, and Eli comes storming out of the house. It's the most funniest shit ever. I literally laughed out loud. And then he's like playing with Eli's emotions, you know, like he's like, I'm not into you, but I know that man is into you, but I also can see that there's something there. So I'm gonna help you out. And as he's leaving, he's like, my name's Sean. I had a feeling, I just didn't know which character was Greasy Hands. I was like, no. Tyler's like, what's no? I'm like, no. It was so good. Favorite read of the entire season. Favorite read. Didn't really read any where I was like, that was terrible, or I regret reading it. So it was a success. Vlogmas has come to an end, y'all. I went out on a whim and I did this thing, and I am so proud of myself. I cannot express how much gratitude and happiness I feel of the new subscribers I gained on this journey, or the ones who stuck around with me throughout this journey. My channel is growing slowly but surely with all of you, and I am deeply, deeply humbled and grateful, and my heart is so full and happy. So thank you for going on this journey with me, or finding me throughout this journey. It's made it worth it. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first video that you've seen, hi, my name is Jessie. I do bookish, lifestyle, and bullet journal content here on YouTube. Please like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you're so inclined. Catch you guys probably in the new year, which I hope you have a wonderful New Year's, and it's been a really, really good one. So I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.